Alright, we got film theory, how YouTube broke your brain. Let's see.
Your favorite YouTuber is killing pop culture. Whether it's me, Mr. Beast, the Game Grumps, binging with Babish, we are all guilty. In fact, all of YouTube's guilty. And it's not just on this platform either. Netflix, Disney Plus, yeah, them too. Max, Prime Video, absolutely. When it comes right down to it, on-demand viewing of entertainment has slowly eroded away the very fabric of our collective cultural identity. And whether you realize it or not, that's a key reason why many of you watching right now are suffering from depression. That's why anxiety levels are on the rise. It's why America is a political hotbed. It's why so many people are questioning how they fit into the world right now. It's all because of this.
Behind me are the most expensive cars in the world.
My ability to stream Mr. Beast right now, or The Office.
Today, smoking is gonna save lives.
Or Avengers. Or Bewitched.
Ketchup for my oatmeal.
Friends. Or Breaking Bad. Or Game of Thrones. Or Game Theory. Or Film Theory. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory, where we're part of the problem. So, have you guys seen Mr. Beast's latest video? At this point,
Yeah, that was a W video. That was a W video. He wanted 500,000. All he had to do was stay there for like a couple more days. He would have got it. Like, I know he's been in there for a long time, but like, just like a couple more days. But he was running out of stuff to sell. But like, that was hard. Then Mr. B set him up with the whole, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring your wife. Of course the wife is gonna say leave. She's not gonna say stay here for a couple more days, get another $200,000. Like, come on. Like,
legitimate question, because despite being the #1 channel and all of his videos raking in hundreds of millions of views, there's a non-zero chance that, no, you haven't seen it. How about Ryan Trahan, Airrack, Mr. Who's the Boss?
I already watched them, niggas. I don't watch them.
Most watched creators on the platform right now, drawing in millions of views with each upload. Are they showing up on your homepage? For a big chunk of you, I guess the answer is no. And I know this because I do actively watch their stuff, and they're not showing up for me. For some reason, their videos just aren't ones that YouTube's algorithms are recommending to me. But you've noticed this, right? YouTube is different this year. Recommendations feel different.
They really got done dirty.
Cropping up, there's more shorts everywhere. Smaller creators are getting more visibility, and the things that you're being recommended are more tied to what you've searched for or watched recently. I mean, I watched the Hot Ones interview with musician Dave Grohl, and YouTube thinks I'm obsessed with drumming. I'm getting recommended drummer covers, and drummer reviews, and drummer lore. Did you even know that there was drummer lore? Because let me tell you, there is. Basically what's going on here is that this year has seen some massive changes on the platform, which merits a whole separate conversation unto itself, but the long and short of it is that my YouTube doesn't look like your YouTube anymore. You know what really proved this one to me? Skibbity Toilet. Seriously. True story, I was recently talking to a big room of girls higher-ups, and I asked them if they'd ever seen a Skibbity Toilet video. You know, that insanely popular series of viral shorts that's gotten over 35 million subscribers and 12 billion views on their platform in the last 5 months alone. Not a single person had ever heard of it. Regardless of whether you think Skibbity is pure gold or should be flushed down the toilet it came from, that right there, that is telling. And it's not just here on YouTube either. TikTok is really the one that started this whole trend. That's why you always hear people ask.
It's really funny how like some of the real good YouTubers with good content, they're not discovered, but like stuff like that gets pushed out all the time for doing like basically absolutely nothing. It's crazy.
Hey, what's on your TikTok? Because in a world where algorithms are selecting,
you don't want to know what's on my TikTok,
bro. There's no guarantee that when I play this,
That's suspicious.
you know what I'm referring to. The good of this is that you're likely getting served content that's precisely targeted at your unique viewing habits. The bad is that fewer people are now watching the same things. And believe it or not, watching the same things is a critical part of human survival. In short, if you've been feeling lonely, or anxious, or depressed, or potentially all three, it's because the world has become increasingly fragmented. And on-demand streaming entertainment is a perfect representative of why you're feeling that way. So let's talk about that, and also some ways that we can solve it. First, let's just get a sense of the scale that we're talking about here. Think of the biggest shows on television over the last decade. Two that stick out to me are Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones. Absolute darlings of the internet. There is no doubt that these were massive deals. Breaking Bad's finale reached 10.3 million people when it originally aired. Meanwhile, Game of Thrones captured 13.6
No, I heard like Game of Thrones like stole the ending like badly. Like I haven't seen both of these shows. I heard they were good. I don't know if I should watch them, but they're popular, so.
Another 5.7 million watching a rerun or streaming VOD within 24 hours. Those are incredible incredible numbers for a modern show, yet they're nothing compared to what TV shows saw pre-streaming. For example, let's take a look at Star Trek The Next Generation. When this show finished in 1994, how many people do you think watched the series finale? 31 million. A show that, at the time, was considered by many to be niche nerd content, actually tapped into nearly 3 times the viewers of a modern program.
Yo.
More insane as you look across more popular IP. 52.5 million people watched Friends as it ended. Seinfeld got a whopping 76.3 million.
Yo, man.
Kid you not, people were literally gathered at Times Square to watch the finale together. Cheers was set off with 80.4 million viewers, and MASH ended with nearly 106 million people, making it the single most watched broadcast in American history that wasn't a Super Bowl, a president resigning, or a moon landing. Sure, this doesn't pull 100 million viewers, no sweat, but that's talking global numbers across the span of a couple days, with ads that are randomly decided by an algorithm based on your tastes and randomly placed throughout the video based on how you tend to watch videos.
So wouldn't that mean he's doing better then if he's getting this many views in a couple of days?
Contrast these massive TV moments where people all at the same time, all in the U.S., all watching an event unfold together in real time. It was scheduled into their lives. Streets were empty.
Well, that's just because the times are changing, bro.
Commercials at the exact same time. And when it ended,
Like he's just saying like Mr. Beast gets those views because you can watch it in your own time. These guys are watching it real time. I mean, like, okay, that's how you watch it in stream real time. But I do understand nobody's getting those views like real time for real. Like, even if you go back and
was released as one big unit. So afterwards, when I said the tribe has spoken, or what's up, or eat my shorts, you got it. You knew the references I was citing, and you were able to respond back in kind. It was a shared cultural lingo that you could reasonably assume most people you talked to had also been exposed to. But think about what that means in the age of on-demand video, in the age of YouTube, of TikTok and Netflix. What can you rely on people to actually know? That's just a theory?
Sorry.
Maybe, but for as big as our channels are, we've always been niche. Like, comment, and subscribe. Sure, but it's also too broad. It's too vague. It's on everything from a beauty vlog to a locksmithing how-to. It says nothing about who you are, who we are as consumers of content. And of course, this isn't only affecting TV. Avengers Endgame was the last big cultural movie moment to happen in theaters.
For real, bro.
Years later, pop culture encyclopedia.
Like, bro, like, I'm not gonna lie. People don't even go to the theaters. Like, it just comes out with everything, all streaming platforms, and then you gotta pay, monthly. But like, movie theaters, they still be scamming. But like, it's just they have no good movies in movie theaters. But like, the only bad side about waiting is you gotta wait for it to go on the streaming platforms. It's crazy. But I'm not gonna lie, the MCU verse is like done without, like, after the Endgame, these new heroes, they're not topping the average threats.
IP like Marvel and Star Wars were among the last holdouts of shared cultural touchstones. But because of how they've been stripped out for content, their importance and relevance have largely been on the downswing, with ever-decreasing box
I didn't see that. I heard she liked that.
Nothing except the Taylor Swift Eras Tour streaming in theaters. But again, why is that such a big cultural touchstone? Well, because she's one of the only artists to have made it big before this on-demand explosion, with albums dropped in 2006, 2008,
Yeah, she did get like millions of like streams on Spotify, like by the end of this year, like one of the most, more than everybody, honestly.
2012, all before Spotify came in and solidified music as the on-demand entertainment source it is today. And as a result of getting a foothold early, she's been able to maintain relevance through consistent releases ever since, leading us to today, where she's one of the few music acts that have been able to achieve such huge critical mass and cross-generational boundaries. But after Tay-Tay, who's next? Who rises up? What musical acts have had the same sort of cultural relevance? Internationally, I'd say K-pop comes pretty close, but the audience is now getting one artist to attain that much of your attention. And so I can't just turn to the person next to me and ask if they stand Kim Tae-young, or make a casual reference to color-changing soup and just expect them to know what I'm talking about. On one hand, this rise of on-demand viewing is a good thing. Theoretically, you show things that actually interest you. Videos, movies, games, and music that are all tailored to your specific individual wants and needs, instead of what a corporate board of directors in Burbank, California deem to be the next popular thing. But because we don't know what anyone else has seen, is listening to, is playing, quoting, or memeing, we lose the pop in pop culture. At the end of the day, we have popular culture if nothing is actually popular with everyone. But why does that matter? Can't we all just live in our happy little bubbles and carry on? Well, it turns out that at the end of the day, that bubble doesn't end up being very happy. The reason is that popular culture supplies us more than hummable tunes and weird euphoria clips where everyone's crying. It supplies us with connection. One of the easiest ways to connect with someone that you don't know is to find a piece of IP that you already know something about. Wait a minute,
What do you mean by
also
IP?
watched the finale of Seinfeld? Well,
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's how a lot of conversations get started. Like, I watch One Piece, and then like, once I figure out somebody else likes One Piece, and I'm like, hey, bro, you like One Piece? And then they're like, hey, I like One Piece. And if they're not like the casual watcher, and they like actually watch One Piece, I could jaw talk about One Piece for like hours and hours and hours without even getting bored. I'm not even gonna lie. You just gotta find the right people. Otherwise, if they're a casual watcher, they just gonna think you weird. That's why I don't be like venting to people like that about it.
Why didn't they just go for the head?
People don't appreciate it.
That's awesome. What era is your favorite? But as pop culture becomes more individualized, the group we feel that we can truly connect with becomes smaller and smaller. Does that sound like I'm overstating the importance of these connections? Well, it turns out the fracturing of pop culture platforms coincides with a huge rise in feelings of loneliness and isolation in our society, especially here in the US, where we've already placed a high value on the idea of independence. A Gallup poll from 1980 showed that 20% of the population felt lonely. That same poll in 2020 reported that 36% of people, more
Makes
than
sense,
one
makes
in
sense. COVID.
3, was grappling with some form of serious loneliness. But that was 2020, right? That was the pandemic.
Yeah.
You think that coming back from the pandemic would have improved the situation? But polls in 2023, 2 years after lockdowns have ended in most places, they show that loneliness continues to climb. With some studies reporting 60% of respondents feeling isolated, lonely, or struggling to make personal connections. And these stats aren't just like, oh, that's really sad. It's an epidemic that disproportionately affects people under the age of 25. That's not to say older generations haven't dealt with mental health or loneliness. They do, frequently, but it often goes underdiagnosed in those populations. That said, the statistics overwhelmingly show that the vast majority of younger people...
I feel as though like most of it is because like kids nowadays, like they don't just go out, like, and like it's just like different. Like nowadays, it's like you gotta worry about like social media on your ass, all this other stuff that you didn't have to worry about necessarily like a long time ago. So you lose one fight nowadays, your ass a world star. You lose a fight back in the day, they might brush it off. A few people know about it, and you go about your day. But
So the people that have spent their lives in this fractured pop cultural world with fewer anchor points that connect them to other people. Instead, the only things that unite us now, the only things that are truly able to cut through the noise, are the tragedies. In an absence of fun moments like a new Star Wars movie or an Avengers film or a new concert, bad news is the thing that rises to the top of
that's actually sad. I've seen that though lately.
Political upheaval. And while it isn't bad
Exactly.
that people are more aware of those problems and injustices, this constant cycle of never-ending bad news with absolutely no levity cutting through has had a marked effect on the mental health of younger generations.
That's like, yeah, it's like they don't have like, it's like how like kids nowadays, they don't really have any like good shows like that.
All our loneliness and isolation on these platforms, like the fact that my TikTok doesn't serve me the same Goldie Cat clip yours does, makes the world a sadder place. No, of course not. It's not only the platform. So pop culture is part of a much bigger splintering that only looks worse the more you dig in. Pop culture obviously isn't the only way we relate to other people. There are lots of ways that people share interests and feel like we live in a society. And these ways are often listed out in various identity theories that have been made across history. Sports, religion, your job, your ethnic background, maybe your political views, any of these things might be...
Hey, anytime somebody starts talking about like political views, bro, just know it's gonna get hectic.
The problem is that we're losing ground in these
That's not okay.
areas as well. All of them. For instance, looking at religious service attendance, it peaked in 1960 and it's been on the decline for the last 30 years. In fact, it dropped 10% since 2012 alone.
Yeah, people not going to church no more. I mean, I don't go to church. I ain't going to church.
The U.S. has also plummeted across the last 10 years, most significantly among younger people. On top of being the prime demographic to feel lonely and isolated, young people on platforms like YouTube and TikTok are also more likely to be politically...
People are saying they're proud to be American.
...cynical about their political identity. In 2016, almost 40% of people under 29...
I mean, it's probably true. I just never heard anybody say something like that.
Proud to be an American. And then they hummed
Proud to be an American.
Checking back in 2023, that number is just 18%. So, okay, not really connected on religion or patriotism, but hey, you can always meet people at your job. Oh, but never mind. The workplace has been completely upended in the last 5 years. Just
Everybody online now, bro.
Workforce and look for jobs, but
Even like entrepreneurship spike after COVID. Even like content creators, everybody want to make content after COVID now, including me. But hey, it is what it is.
jobs are remote jobs. Maybe they're in person. Maybe it's halvesies. Maybe it's the gig economy. Maybe they'll strike. And all the while there'll be a ton of inflation and Logan Paul is going to be telling them they should be investing in crypto. 70% of millennials and Gen Z workers are considering quitting their jobs as I speak. And high percentages of Gen X workers in fields like tech and healthcare are feeling burned out.
What the hell is Gen X? What the fuck is Gen X? What? Okay, hold on. No, I gotta look this up, bro. What is Gen X? What is Gen X? Oh, that's like the old 60s, mid 60s, late 70s. Oh, damn.
People's identities are no longer associated with the place they work because people don't view those places as reliable or helpful anymore. They feel financially
Oh.
insecure and underpaid, so that basically half of all Zoomers, Millennials, and Gen Xers all have themselves a side hustle. My parents, by contrast,
Side hustle,
worked
crazy,
a
go
job
crazy.
over
You know they got like
4
kids
years.
nowadays that are just like making Snapchat stories and like reselling shoes and they're making like hella money. Like
Their job is a core part of their identity. But for young people now, they're disillusioned with corporate culture and mostly just want to get out. So if you're
Get out the
not
matrix.
making any positive connections these days, what then does that leave us with? Well, according to identity theory, it leaves us with things like extreme political views, or extreme viewpoints on topics like gender, or extreme stances on race. All these areas where we've historically worked to break down barriers, improve communication, and at least attempt to work together. Instead, walls are now getting built back up as we attempt to define ourselves by how we're different from the other side. The scope
They think he
of
Donald
all of
Trump.
these things goes well beyond this little old theory on the internet. But suffice it to say, these are areas where a large percent of the population also feels divided or isolated or scared and doesn't feel able to connect with those on the other side of the issue. So the TLDR is that if you feel like it's a really lonely time
fuck
out
is that?
there and it's bizarrely hard to make connections with your fellow humans on any basic level, you're right. We are more fragile
Damn, that was harsh.
than ever everywhere we turn. And it's because the institutions around us that used to give us connection and identity are crumbling. So what then do we do? And
This
if
dude's
we
like so
really
straightforward.
feel connected with something, what's the thing that'll help make us feel connected? How do you possibly beat a series of systems that keep us siloed? Well, ironically, it's in the place where we started this episode, stories. Whether that's in YouTube videos, movies, TV, video
Hey,
games,
that brings
whatever,
everybody together, bro.
Other people's genuine stories about what they're going through makes us feel connected to them. It helps us understand that other people are going through what we're going through. It helps us.
It's like when you're like didn't study for a test and then you be like, we had a test today, and then you ask, did you study? And then they're like, nah, I didn't study. And like, I don't know why. It just like helps you, like, it just like makes you feel better. I don't know why.
Not alone, they help us feel seen. One of the most popular movies of the last year has been Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Damn.
Inexplicably popular. Except, what's it about? Well,
I kept seeing the memes about it.
identity. It's about being lonely. It's about finding your place in your relationship with someone else when the identity you thought you had crumbles away. Huh, go figure. Kind of matches what we're talking about. Or how about the biggest movie of the year, Barbie? You know, the story about a person.
I feel like this was like a troll, but I don't know.
Doll thing in a world where their role used to be clear cut, but now she doesn't know what her place is anymore, what her identity is, which has left her feeling.
So now it's just the identity trope that's just like drawing people to movies nowadays.
For the end, by being a woman.
That little
There's
niche.
that big speech in there about how hard it is to be a mother and a woman, and how there's so many expectations. Oh my gosh, it's almost like this whole movie is relatable. The stories that now cut through the noise don't shy away from this splintered feeling.
Hey,
Instead,
relatability is
they
key.
face
It's
those
key.
feelings head on. Authenticity and honesty about the one universal that we all feel, loneliness, is actually what's helping to unite us. YouTube, which has been the world's most frantic viewing experience for the last 3 years, is just now fully finding itself swinging in the opposite direction. Simple conversations
This nigga actually
about what's
switched.
about current
Yeah.
events, it's human experiences like
That
people
YouTuber's
like Eddie
tough.
Burback and Ted Nivison at Margaritaville. The lonely
I forgot his name though.
Investing in human stories is feeling refreshing again. Even Mr. Beast has openly talked about pulling back from his ADHD-inducing editing style to a narrative
ADHD.
format where he sounds more human and allows an actual story to unfold.
Yeah, because I can see how like he be sounding like robotic, and people been like complaining lately. So
Because that's what's keeping people engaged, rather than just more and more suitcases of money opening up every 10 seconds. Will this instantly solve all our problems? The root cause that makes us feel so divided? Have us feeling great and making lots of friends and have hair-braiding sleepover soon? No, definitely not. But there's a recognition out there that talking to real people, telling real stories, and being honest about where we are pays off. While we're in this phase of splintered existence, seek out the real great stories that feel honest to where you are right now. Don't be afraid to talk about what it's like to be lonely. And
hey,
do
mental
it
health is
with
key,
comments
bro.
that are longer than 3 seconds. You can even go out on a limb and
Yeah, because like whenever you ask somebody are they okay, and they say they're okay, not gonna lie, like most of the time they're not okay. They're just it's just people don't really care. They don't want to vent.
to a trending sound. It's not guaranteed that everyone else you know will see the same things you will, watch the same movies you will, play the same games, or have the same experiences, but the important thing is that by watching and sharing stories that are real and relatable, we'll start a new pop cultural trend built on what it means to be human, with all the ups and downs that entails.
What it means to be
You know
human.
what? It's not a bad place to start. But hey, that's just a theory. A film.
Intricate ass theory. That's what it was.
And cuts.
You know, at that point, it wasn't a theory. That was real. This dude was speaking facts, bro. Not gonna lie. W video, bro. Hey, if you want more, then show some love. You already know. I like to learn stuff about these theories. You know, more stuff. So, you know, no.